Hey, good morning. It's morning here. Hey, a quick story before I do a video about what I take in bag number 2, and that'll be right after this. I'm thinking about something that happened in Colombia. It's always morning, I think, of these things. And I was staying at a boutique hotel, motel, whatever, and it's kind of like the cheaper place to stay in Colombia. You got the hotels, the bigger ones, and then you have boutique hotels. And you know, they're pretty good usually. They can't, sometimes they're not quite as safe, but you know, I looked around, found a good one. So I was staying at one. I stayed there, paid for a month. I'm going to stay for a month. Now this is when I spent a year in South America, in Colombia especially, and I was out on they have a front porch area, and sitting out there, and I was kind of during a rough part of my trip, and I wasn't feeling good and real down on myself, and you know, for another video why that happened, pretty big. And so this was a monumental day for me, sitting out in front there, and not feeling good, and I was hungover. Now I don't drink anymore, so I love telling these stories. So I felt like crap, and I'm sitting there, and this guy pulls up on his bicycle, and he's a Colombiano, and he gets off and he goes in to the lobby to talk to the lady who runs the front desk, and I know her pretty well. I got to know her real well, and he was in there a long time, so he must stop in there a lot because they're chit-chatting away. And then he comes out and sits with me, and at this little table, and we just chat, you know, like normal. And he was a really nice guy, very knowledgeable, and he actually lived in New York. He got married to a woman who was American, and she moved him up to New York. Many years later, she got in a car accident, so she wasn't around anymore, unfortunately, and he didn't like being in New York, and he moved back to Colombia. And but he was a professor at the university there. I can't remember which one. There's a couple, and he was a very helpful guy, and said, hey, if I ever need anything, he gave me his phone number, and he'll help me out. And so anyway, long story short, there he was just a very knowledgeable man, professor, knew Colombia. Of course, he's from Colombia, but he also knows gringos, you know, and knows how to help a gringo give good advice and stuff like that. So he gave me a lot of good advice. But you know, when I went away, I'm like, that guy, he's a successful Colombian. You know, he made his life. He got back here, picked up his life again, and you know, back at the university, and you know, had lost his wife years ago in America. So you know, there he is, and so it was inspiring for me, you know, that somebody is making it work, especially where I was in my mind that day. So a little bit later, I walk down to this cafe where I get coffee. It's early in the morning, and so I'd just seen him the night before. I'm walking down, and there's always people sleeping on the sidewalk as you walk down through these alleys. But over on this little platform, I see this bike, and it's familiar. It's that guy's bike, and there he is laying there with just a little sheet over him, asleep. So he was homeless. And he kept himself really clean, you know, and you wouldn't know he was homeless. Of course, you know, and they don't call it homeless down there, you know. They're just living, you know, they're surviving. So there's really no name for that other than, and another thing is, you know, people help them out. And anyway, they have their issues, but he was just a homeless guy. Now, was he a professor? I don't know. Were all these stories true? I don't know. They sure seem genuine. Anyway, I thought I would share that with you this morning. You never know who you're going to meet, and the person that gives you the best advice may be hurting themselves. All right, have a good day. Please like and subscribe if you like my channel and what I'm doing here. All right, we're going to get into bicycle stuff now.